I think that's the missing ingredient in much of the church in America today is power. We've got the gospel, but the power of the gospel. We might call it power because it's all we've known, but the power you see in the Bible, the power you understand is potentially there through God working. It's something I don't think that we really know or have any longer in America. In America, we've got freedom, we've got opportunity. But do we have power? And we often boast about the freedom to worship and have religion. But what are we doing with that freedom? Do we have the power of God? Or has that torch been passed? If you go to Korea, there are hundreds of thousands of people being saved in Korea. If you go over there, you get up at 4:30 in the morning, you'll see that the streets are busy with activity. You wonder, why do they go to work so early? Well, they're not going to work. They're going to prayer meetings. Early in the morning, they pray. Their churches are filled each day for prayer. Not just on Sundays. They are filled every day of the week with people praying. And the power of God is very much a part of what's going on in Korea. Now, Americans will get up early. They'll get up early to go shoot an animal or catch a fish or hit a golf ball or catch a sail, maybe save $10 that they could have spent 9 o'clock, spent $10 more. We'll get up for those things. But the power of the gospel is something we should yearn for. And in Korea today, they are enjoying that kind of power. Paul prayed that they would pray for him. He knew they couldn't go with him. He wrote to the Roman church, they couldn't go down to Jerusalem with him. But he asked them to strive together, work together with him by praying for him as he went down there. And the word that he uses is not a half-hearted word. It is a word that was used of an athlete striving and pushing himself. He asked that their prayer would be like that. And true prayer is the most demanding thing of the Christian life. But it's also the most effective thing we can do as well. And Paul asked them to get involved with that. People who are praying, if we shook up all the churches in this area and we did like redrafted for church members, could you imagine that? We redrafted for church members, and then we got to, I'll pick that person, and then First Baptist got to pick one, and then next church got to pick one. And we drafted. I guarantee you, I'd go for all the prayer warriors. I'd want them on my team. For many years, the offensive lineman position in football was just we got a few draft picks left, let's pick a couple offensive linemen. But now they've realized the importance of the offensive lineman. And that's right, Rooster. They have found out that they need to pay them more money. They need to draft them higher and to get them on the team. And if you watch SportsCenter at night, you're going to see somebody throw a pass. You're going to see somebody run with the ball. You're going to see a lot of highlights. But if you did not have the offensive lineman being effective, those highlights wouldn't be there. Those holes wouldn't be there. That quarterback wouldn't be protected long enough to throw that pass. Now, if you had a show tonight called Church Center that showed the highlights of churches, you might see preaching and singing, but you wouldn't really see the scoreboard being changed much by people's lives being changed if you didn't have the prayer warriors setting up that line of protection so that God's work could prosper. I just wonder if that show was on tonight, Church Center, with all the highlights, how much of what we do would be on it. And the only reason what we do wouldn't be on it is because we're not praying enough for God's thriving power to be amongst us.